So a key component to moving more efficiently or effectively is having a body that is largely unstuck. And and specifically when I say unstuck, I mean like a lot in our torso. So we're talking about like our hips, our ribs, our shoulders, when our joints and we're able to move openly and freely, you'll feel that showing up for you in the rest of your daily activities. So whether that's swim, bike, and run, or if it's just moving around the house or dealing with your kids or whatever, you will move better when you incorporate some mobility exercises into your routine. So I'm going to be showing you some really simple ones. Think of these as routines that will come out typically on Mondays for you, and feel free to incorporate this into like any day. Make it part of your routine, if you will. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off really simply. I would highly suggest doing this every single day. This is a basic rounding and arching movement, and what we're talking about is moving our hips. And so what you want with your pelvis is you want your pelvis to be able to roll forward and roll back, and we want to coordinate that with our breath. So I'm just laying here, my feet are planted firmly on the ground, and as I inhale, I'm going to arch. So I'm going to inhale and arch, and notice my belly gets a little bigger and my hips are doing this. They're rolling forward. And then as I exhale, I'm going to roll my hips back. My lower back is flat to the ground, and that's when I'm exhaling. So again, I inhale, I arch, and my whole front end gets bigger. My belly and ribs get bigger, and then exhale, roll your hips back, everything gets smaller. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And you just really want to feel your hips starting to move. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Last one. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Now the next thing we want our hips to do is, besides this movement of your whole pelvis rocking forward and back, is we want each side of the pelvis to be able to rock and move independently. This will show up for you when you're out running. It's also appropriate for when you're riding your bike. And so this is the movement that we want our pelvis to be doing. And we're going to start in the same position that we are in. So like both feet are planted firmly on the ground. And then the thing that I'm going to think about here is that my left foot, I'm going to like drive my left foot into the ground some. And as I do that, my left hip is going to start to come off the ground some, and that knee gets further away from me. So I feel a little bit of opening and stretching on that left side. My left hip is up, my left foot is pointed into the ground. And then I'm going to relax that and come back to neutral. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to drive my right foot into the ground. Notice when I do that, this hip starts to open up, my butt starts coming off the ground a little bit. And then we want to rock back and forth in that way, alternating. So I press my left foot down, my left knee goes away, my left hip comes up, and then my right foot into the ground, right knee goes away, right hip comes up. And so this is a really gentle movement, and you can watch how I'm just I'm going to just combine that. So it's left knee away, right knee away, and I just have this very gentle rocking back and forth. It feels easy, it feels luxurious. I do not want you to be using a lot of muscles when you're doing this. What you're doing is you're just letting this movement take place without, like, do not squeeze your butt, do not use muscles, just move bones, not muscles, as you're doing this exercise. So going forward, I will call the first one we did is rounding and arching. So again, that's so that you arch and you round. And this one we call contralateral hips. So contralateral hips is when I'm alternating, I'm pressing my foot into the ground, my knee goes away, my hip comes up, and it's just this very gentle rocking movement. And if I show you from the side, if you need to see what it looks like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it from there, like how my knees start to move. And it's the hips that are rocking that allow for that contralateral movement. So you want to bring this into your daily routine. Next week we're going to build on this, but for now, round and arch, contralateral hip. Practice that, coordinate it with your breath, and we'll see you next week.